wait a minute for everyone. Okay, we just wait a minute for everyone to get their supplies. Today we're doing acrylic painting, so you will need your paints and your brushes. I have a big one. Yeah.
Junyi, can you stop your share screen so that they can see your supplies?
Oh, sure. Oh, make sure to take a picture of this, everybody.
梁Thái影張相啊，今日畫呢幅畫係邊個啊？
今日係咪有啊？
今日有畫。
Okay, we just wait a second for everyone to take a picture of this.
影相。This is our picture today. Take a picture of this.
Okay, does anyone need more time? I think we are good.
Are we drawing with pencil today?
We are using acrylic paint today.
Oh, okay, thank you.
No worries. All right, so the picture is also there.
Junyi,
Yeah.
can your camera zoom in further on your canvas?
On my canvas, unfortunately not.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Because or else you will see my head.
Okay.
But if it's too small, next time I can work on a bigger canvas. This one is actually it's quite small because of it's just a piece of paper, like the canvas paper.
I can see that they are ready.
Okay, if everyone is ready, let's get started. So first, grab out your pencil. We're going to create a sketch. Let's see. I think today we're going to start with this shape in the middle. Right, so first thing, remember to landmark where you want your shapes. I'll do a little off center, so. Okay. Okay, and then we will do our bottom. Actually, I think it will need to be higher. Let's make it higher.
Can you try it darker?
Sure. Can you see it?
Barely. Okay, better.
Is that better?
Better, yes.
Okay, let's put it here. So. So create a couple of landmarks for how large your objects will be. Okay, now I will mark in the shape of the apple. I think it will be near the bottom of the page. So something like that. Oh, I'll make that darker so everyone can see. I think it will be a little bit smaller actually. Yeah, it's quite large on my sheet, but that's okay. In the middle of the apple, you need to add a line. A little slanted line. And stem. Yeah. Okay, after you sketch out your apple, you can start with this line on top. It actually just meets the corner of the apple right there. But to be honest, doesn't matter too much. So this line is curved like this. Once you are done this curved line, we can add our top line. It's also curved, so the top looks a little bit like a boat. Actually, this one is more like a banana. So I'll bring it out a little bit more. Okay. Oops. Okay, and once you finish your canoe shape, we can take this part. So it's actually split into two shapes. One of them is like almost like a strange hourglass. So you have one shape that goes under like this. And then you have your shape of the bottom. This one is actually very, very curved. Oh, my thing is too long. You chop it right there. Let me grab an eraser. Okay, that's a little better. Okay, and once you finish the base, okay, we're gonna move on to the fruit on the top. So this green apple is a little bit smaller than the red one. So the red one is about, let's see, 1 finger. And the green one will also be about 1 finger, a little bit smaller. And then my orange will be beside it. Again, the orange is a little bit smaller than the apple. And there's an apple right behind, so you can tuck it right behind there. Feel free to add your apple stems. So again, 1 horizontal line and 1 vertical line. And then when you are finished with your 3 shapes, you can add your pear. I'm actually out of canvas here, so I might tilt my pear more to this side so it fits onto the page. But if you're able to fit your pear, that's great. So there's my pear. Maybe I'll make it a stem face this way so it fits. And I will have to connect the line behind it. And the same on the other side. Okay, when you're finished with that, you can set your horizon line pretty much anywhere you want. In the picture, you can see it's kind of in the middle of the page, but if you want to shift it around, it's up to you. So I will put mine, I think, similar to where theirs is. So you're gonna sketch a light line across the page. Actually, mine is actually, this is so high, hold on. That's okay, we'll leave it like that. Okay, I want a bit of an edge to my surface, so I will do that. And then draw a line down. Okay, and once everyone is done with the background lines, however you want to do them, you can just have a straight line across if you want. You can make it lower or higher, it doesn't really matter. We're going to sketch in the shadow. So the shadow on the picture is actually quite faint. It just sort of goes around over here. Shape like that. And around the apple. Okay, at this point, if everyone's almost done their sketch, start thinking about what type of background colors that you want to use today. Because your background can be any color you want it to be. It doesn't really matter. Okay, why don't we start our painting? So today for the background, I'm feeling like blue. So I have a cerulean blue. I will mix that with white. Of course, you can use whatever you want for the background. I will do blue, white, and maybe a little bit of brown or yellow. Okay, I have my blue, my white, and let's go with this one today. This is Burnt Sienna. I like to randomize my background sometimes. I'll put my paints in front of my friends and ask them to choose one blindly. All right.
Junyi,
Yep.
the burnt sienna is like brown, right? Or more
Yeah,
red.
the burnt sienna, they should have it. It's like a brown color.
If they don't, how do they get the brown color?
Brown color. You can mix green and red to get brown. It might not be the same shade, but it will be some type of brown. You don't need brown. You can just not, you don't have to use it for the background. Okay, so when I begin mixing, note that my background is primarily white. It's kind of a pastel. The color is barely there. And usually I just like to deposit it in the back. I don't really care about neat outlines or anything.
Let me just check with everybody. 大家有唔有呢一個好似朱古力色咁樣啊？Do you all have the brown color? 有唔有啊？
有。
有嗬，大家有。
啲你俾我哋好細支嗰啲咧，嗰啲個幾銀錢嗰啲係有呢個 colour， 有呢個咖啡色嘅，咁溝咗白色就得嘅。
OK。
So if I don't have green, what else can I do to make it brown?
If you don't have green, let me think. I think you will need either green. You will need green and red. I don't think you can. Maybe there is a workaround.
I think
for
this
that.
yellow and blue equal to green, and then I can add some red, right?
Yeah, that's a long way around. But yeah, you
I
can
mean,
do
yeah,
that.
if I don't have it, this is the way to go, right? Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can do that, or you can just use a different color for the background. You can go with.
I better
blue.
follow you guys.
Okay, sure.
Thank you. Thank you. I try whatever.
Yeah, this canvas paper is very dry.
Hello, Micky 啊，佢嗰個係咩色嚟㗎？
啡溝白。
你有唔有啡色啊？秀蘭？
有，我有啡色，我有
啊，啡色你溝啲白色嗰係咪淺啡？
啡溝白色啊。
啊，係咯。
OK，thank you。
Okay, I'm going to introduce some random texture in the background. It doesn't actually exist, but I want some, I don't know, I want like a rustic feeling to this.
係啱，啡溝白色。
唔係幾慣，以前咧我哋畫咗中間嗰度，周圍嗰啲最後先畫。而家調翻轉，好似唔係好慣咁。
And then I can add some on the other side for a balance. So right now I'm just mixing my blue in with the white. And I think I want my table to be this color. Oh, that's very chunky. So it doesn't matter too much if you cover your shadow or you leave it as it is right now, because you can go into it after. So just don't worry too much about it right now, as long as you know it's there. And fill in your background. Okay. I have some leftover paint. If your top is dry, you can play with it a little bit. If you want, you can streak some into your upper wall. You don't have to. It's just a matter of if you want it there or not.
May I ask a question, teacher?
Yes.
Is it matter that we color the background first and then the object last, or the vice versa?
Well, the reason why I tend to color the background first all the time is because what happens is the objects are in front of the background, right? So if you color the objects first, it's totally fine. It just makes it hard because then you have to go back and reline your objects once you put the background in, because what happens is it goes over your lines like this. It's hard to get it neat. So I think it's easier to just go over.
So it's a cleaner, object line will be cleaner.
Yeah, you can do it either way. It's just more work to do your objects first.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so you guys should always paint the things in the back before you paint the things that are covering the things in the front.
Okay.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Okay, that was a mistake, but I will leave it there because it looks a little bit interesting. I'll do the same thing on the other side.
We can cover the shadow or we can leave it there, right? The shadow.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. I will go back later for the shadow. So this area will be covered no matter what.
Jenny, I
Yes.
also noticed something you did. That you put the two colors into one space together, and then slowly you mix them as you go. Do we? Is it better to do it that way, or we mix all the colors first, and then maybe too much or maybe too less, and then we have to mix it again? Or I see you just put the blue and the white in the same space, and then as you go, you just mix them.
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter. If you want your painting to be very consistent, you can mix it all one batch as you go. But for me, I just do it as I go. I like the inconsistency. I don't
Okay.
like the paint to look the same because it creates what happens is if there's no variance in the shades, it creates dead space on the painting, and one area looks too flat to me. So
Yeah.
there's different styles that you can do. Some people, they go for that flat looking style, but personally I like the messy variance.
Yeah,
So
I can see that.
I just do it as I work.
Yeah, and thank you. That makes
No
sense.
worries. Yeah, it gives some texture, but if you like it to be cleaner, then you guys can do that. It doesn't really matter. It's up to you. Okay, so while you guys are working on your background, I'm going to try something a little weird today. I'm not sure how well it's going to work out, but I'm going to give it a try. So I'm going to take this background color, I'll make it a little bit darker and create sort of like an underpainting layer. Because I want the blue color to kind of pop out behind the fruit. You don't have to do this, but you can try it if you want. So I'm just gonna go in and then the only thing with this is it's really important that your paint dries before you go in with the top layer, or else it will turn the colors yucky.
You're painting your parent orange blue. So, but then you will eventually put the green and the yellow on top of the blue.
Yeah, so what's going to
Yeah.
happen is exactly like you said. I'll put the green and the other colors on top of the blue, but
Oh, okay.
I'm playing with the undertone right now.
Mm. But why do you use blue? Is there any colors that we can use or we should use?
You can use whatever you want. So the
Yeah.
theory is blue is a cool color. It's on the cool spectrum.
Okay.
And colors like red and purple are on the warm spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
So if you use colors like warm in the background, like red, orange, yellow, use that for your underpainting. Your painting, when it's finished, will have a very warm look to it, like almost like
Uh-huh.
fireside. It's
Yeah.
almost unconscious. It's almost like something that people notice unconsciously. They don't pick it up. Like
Mm-hmm.
you have to really put one cool undertone and one warm undertone painting beside each other to see the difference. Like you have to know
Okay.
what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise,
So
it's just for fun.
never use the undertone color as your background color. I use a different colors to make it look different, right? Because
Well,
the
you can
background
do
is earthy color. Your background of the pear is earthy, but you use the darker blue, which is your table color, as your background color.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. No.
茶最嘢翻嚟啦，食咗晏晝未啊？
So I don't actually know how this will turn out. So we'll see today. I'm just throwing the blue in the areas where the shadows might be. Okay, so if you choose to do an undercoat, it's critical that your undercoat dries before you move on. But if you did not choose to do that, then what you can do is start mixing the colors for the fruits. So you can start squeezing your red and other stuff out. Okay. So while that's drying, I will start squeezing out my reds and my other colors. You only need one red. I just want to see what is the difference between these two reds I have. I bought them at a garage sale, so I have no idea. Okay, so you need one red and some type of orange. If you don't have orange, you can mix together red and yellow. Orange and then a bit of green. We'll do that one. If you don't have dark brown, you can mix together light brown and black. Whatever this is. Basically, any color you think you see in there, just to squeeze it out. If you have it, this is too much. Okay, let's play with colors. The first thing I want to do is mix my green. So green. Green, yellow. Let's go white. That's pretty similar. And the reason why I'm doing green first is I'm not actually sure if this is dry yet. So this is the color that is probably least likely to clash with the blue if it does mix. So I will go in, keeping attention to leave some of the blue on the edges. I'll just leave it poking out like that. So for this part, you will need some white. Some areas are lighter, and you can just mark it with some white. Notice that this part is darker. For this part, I just mixed in some of my brown.
My green is not able to cover the blue background.
这个画不能画，哎，行，没有那个。
Elaine, did you have a question?
My green is not able to cover the blue background. I put on first. It's all dry though.
Well, you can try. It might be the paint itself. What you can try is mix some white into your green. See if it makes the pigment come through a little more. Because what happens is the yellow on paint, it tends to be, unless you buy very expensive paint, yellow tends to have very bad pigmentation. It doesn't cover anything. The yellows usually is pretty bad. It even like
it's also watery.
Yeah, it depends. Sometimes it depends on the paint, but it's okay. You can leave some of the blue poking out, or most of it. It's okay. I think it would look rather interesting as well. Okay. Okay, so taking the leftover, this light green, I'm probably just throwing some up in here. I find that the blue also makes the painting darker. Okay, same green shade for the pear. So what's happening is as I'm mixing it, it's the same color as the fruit, but when I put it on the canvas, because I have the blue, it tones the green down, so it's not as bright. It's almost like a gloomier fruit bowl. Oops. Okay, we'll leave the color poking through. I will add some brown near the bottom. And then up here. I have leftover brown, so I'm going to throw it in the creases over here. And then I will throw some probably in here and on the container, the fruit bowl. And then if you have leftover brown, what you can do is create a wash. So add some water to your brown. Oh, it's green now. So mine is green brown now, it's like a swamp color. All right, I'm gonna take this, and it's quite watery, and I will sketch out the deepest parts of my shadow. So I'm gonna dilute it with more water as I get wider. This is probably not my favorite for shadow colors, but that's okay. It's a little muddy. Oh, I forgot to throw some of this in here. Green color. It's drying up now. Okay. So you can go in with your white if you want and add some of these highlights. It gives a little more dimension to the fruit. But I think what we'll do now is start painting with a red. So hopefully this is dry. I'm going to go in with red and white. This seems too pink. There we go. So I've made a red and I'm just going to start throwing it in there. Some areas there is a bit of the sheen on the apple. It's a little bit shiny. And what you can do in those areas is mix your red with a little bit of white so it becomes more dull. and use that in those areas. You will notice around the edges of the apple, it's actually darker. Need some more brown. So around the edges is a deeper shade of red. That can be achieved by adding some brown. Oh, I've been neglecting my apple on the top. I forgot about that guy. I guess I'll just touch in some color for this guy. Don't forget, everyone, you have 2 apples. Actually, I'm going to change the color of my apple up here. It blends in too much with the background. Okay, if you have leftover brown, you can add it into just a little bit into the holes. So that would be there, maybe a little bit in here. And this one is quite large. And you can deposit the leftover brown in your brush onto the this, what is this? The bowl. Because you don't want to wash it off. You can just throw it in there. Oh, my orange is drying. I am just trying to save my dried orange with some white. It's actually a very yellow toned orange, this one. I'll just add it in there. Okay, so we're actually finished for class today. I'm wondering, because I still have lots of paint on my palette. May, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Would it be okay for me to just stay like 15 and just finish
Oh,
this
yeah.
up? 'Cause
I think it's nice to finish the project.
yeah, if you
Thank
guys
you.
have to go, you can go. But if you would like to stay another couple of minutes, I will be here using the rest of my paint so it doesn't go to waste.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, let's add some variation. Oh, that's green. That's not what I wanted. That's okay. Add some variation in shade. Okay, and up here. I just mixed some random colors on my palette and I created this really yucky looking color. So I'm not actually sure where to put this. So please don't try to replicate this, whatever this color is. It's not very nice looking. Right now, I just have some leftover orange that I'm trying to get rid of. And some green on this palette that I'm also trying to get rid of. The cooler colors like green, blue, and purple tend to work very well for shadows. Because if you use black, it creates like a big black hole. So these colors are a little bit more gentle. Okay, let's go into this dish. So you will need to have, what kind of brown is this? Like a light brown. Any shade of brown works. Okay, we have a brown. Let's throw it in here. You can actually get quite precise with your line work if you want. Oh, that's black. That's not brown. Okay, that's okay. So I accidentally mixed the black. And I'll put it in here. I don't like to use black. It creates like a colorless void. But I already mixed it, so it's going in. Last thing for this, there are a couple of highlights and a couple of lowlights you can add. So let's do that. And right there. And the shadow begins about halfway on the apple. Okay, I added the black, so it's a little too dark for my liking, but it's okay. And this stuff should be dry. You can add your stem. This stem I'm going to curve. Okay, that guy doesn't have a stem, and this one. Okay, just adding in some final highlights. Oh, shadow actually, not highlights. Oops. Okay, everyone, we're just about finished for today. So I think we learned that the blue wash crease almost like gives it a darker finish. It's almost like a gloomy fruit bowl. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Okay, everyone, I think it's done. I think it's time to stop working. All right,